Good morning and welcome to Football Guys Sunday Morning Live. I am once again Joey Wright. That has not changed. I'm your host today, joined by my co-host Jeff Bell and Jagger May. Guys, how are we loving this early morning? It's not London, it's Germany game. How are we enjoying it? Are we enjoying it at all, guys?
It's a great game to have some coffee and get whatever needs to be done. Is probably the best way to say it because there's not a lot happening here this morning. I mean, if you have Jonathan Taylor, you're probably happy. Other than that, I think you're probably sweating a little bit on trying to get some more fantasy points through the second half here.
Mm-hmm. Well, as a Patriots fan, I'm left sitting feeling not only the regrets of last night on Saturday, but I feel the regrets of also being a Patriots fan. So I've had better mornings, Joey. I've had better mornings.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll try to make it all a little better. We're going to be here with you guys every Sunday game day. If there is an early game, we'll be here for you at halftime. But every other week, it'll be 11 a.m. to about around noon. And we'll answer all of your fantasy football questions, mainly starts and sits. But if you got any trade questions, go ahead and throw them on in there. And then following the show, make sure to head over to the Discord today where Corey Spalla is going to be in there answering all of your start and sit questions. Guys, before we get into the questions, I know we got a bunch already. I can see it in the little ticker there. What do we got on starts and sits? Like, I want to know who is your start of the week. Jagger, I'll go to you first. Who are you starting out there today?
I'm rolling out the Steelers running backs, and it feels weird. Actually, it doesn't. Everyone hates Najee, and I guess it's now weird to say that Najee is actually performing incredibly well. He's top 5 in broken tackle rate right now. All the peripherals say that he's performing well, and the Steelers' offensive line has actually stepped up. Moreover, it's actually about the other side of the ball. They're playing the Broncos, and they've just really become a funnel defense, not just a run funnel defense. Just start everybody against them.
All right. And Jeff, do you got a start of the week this week?
Khalil Shakur. I'm going to go with a homer pick here. Khalil Shakur playing against the Broncos on Monday Night Football. And I think that is an opportunity. Over the last 3 games, he's been actively involved in the Buffalo offense. He's trending towards, if you were to extrapolate his production over the last 3 games, he would have over 1,000-yard season. And so he's really stepped up as being one of those primary receivers for Buffalo. They are running a lot of 3 wide receiver sets now. Denver's defense has improved of late, so that makes you a little bit nervous. And Buffalo's offense has had, statistically, their struggles versus EPA seems like it's a good offense. I don't know. As a Bills fan, I'm a little bit frustrated, but I think that this is a great opportunity for Shakir to step in and kind of, as you're dealing with buys and injuries, to be borderline wide receiver 3, wide receiver 2 is probably aggressive, but I do have him in wide receiver 3 territory in my ranks.
Perfect. Love that call out. And guys, for me, I was doing my rankings for quarterback this week, and there was one name that just kept creeping up and up and up. And it's someone that I've loved all season, but I love Jared Goff. I have him as my QB2 this week. And that might be a little crazy. I did move him one spot ahead of Joe Burrow with the T. Higgins news. I'm expecting really great things for him. And kind of a homecoming game against the Chargers today in Los Angeles. So look to Jared Goff to have a really good game today. Really quick, Adam Hutchison will be here in a little while to go over some injuries, but we're going to touch on them real quick. Players that are out today: Dameon Pierce, Nico Collins, T. Higgins, Justin Jefferson is not going to make a season debut today, and Treylon Burks is also out. Jagger, I want to ask you really quick about T. Higgins. Are you trusting any other pass catchers there in Cincinnati today?
I like everyone knows what Tyler Boyd can do, and he's one of the best, what I call a wide receiver handcuff. If T. Higgins or Jamar Chase are out, just slot him in. But if you really want to dig deep, I like Andre Yosevich. I mean, to me, he fits like most into the T. Higgins role. I like his size. He's athletic, and he's already shown that he can handle a workload. You know, like he can actually get open and is a viable asset even when both T. Higgins and Jamar Chase are on the field. So if you're really desperate and need a flyer and you're in those deep leagues, go ahead and pop him in your flex and see what happens.
2 deep names out there. I think that Trenton Irwin seems to be the player that does step up. From everything that I've dug into the past, whenever Higgins or Chase is out, it seems like they hyper target whoever is available, but Chase is carrying an injury designation into this game as well. Whether or not he plays, that's still the open question. Irwin seems to be Tyler Boyd doesn't really move a lot. Irwin seems to be the player that steps up and kind of fills in the gaps a little bit and enters maybe the back end conversation in your roster. And then if you're desperate at tight end, a name to watch would be Tanner Hudson, is a player that has came on a little bit last week. They got him involved. I think he was 5 targets, four catches, close to 50 yards last week. So that's a player to keep an eye on there at tight end, Tanner Hudson, as they might protect a little bit more on Joe Burrow, run a little bit of heavier sets with the absence of T. Higgins and the questions around Jamar Chase.
Would you play Tanner Hudson over Drew? Was it Drew Sample?
Yes, I would play Tanner Hudson over Drew Sample. Tanner Hudson was actively involved in the passing game last week. Drew Sample had a dump off play that was turned into a broken play and scored a touchdown on that. He was never actively targeted on any plays last week, whereas Hudson was. Hudson was very involved in the passing game.
Agreed.
Not expected to play today, KJ Osborne. Not expected to be out there today. He's not been officially ruled out yet, though. Still questionable. Jamar Chase is a game time decision. I have not seen an update as of the start of this show on his status, so keep an eye on that. That's going to be a big one that we're going to ask Adam about when he pops up here with us. And Pierre Strong is also questionable for today. Expected to play today. This is kind of exciting. Kyler Murray and James Conner will be out there for the Arizona Cardinals. That's extremely exciting. And then TJ Hawkinson is questionable, but is expected to play, as well as Keaton Mitchell expected to play for the Baltimore Ravens this week after a really good game last week. All right, guys. Well, let's get into these questions. So everyone's doing. Before that, though, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, send us some love here for Football Guys. We always appreciate it. All right. Who had the first question this morning? Gary in here real early this morning. I was in here at 9 o'clock loading some stuff in here, and the question was already in here. So half-point PPR needs one flex. Gabe Davis, Jerome Ford, or Tyler Boyd. I bet we're going to get a lot of Tyler Boyd questions. Jagger, where are we at on this?
To be honest, I'm debating between Davis and Boyd. I don't like anything in the Browns and Ravens matchup. To me, Gabe Davis is obviously the ceiling play, and he's a high variance player. Tyler Boyd for floor. You're hoping to get 4 catches and 50 yards for Tyler Boyd, the top floor thing. So I'd probably roll with Gabe Davis depending on what you need.
Jeff, Bills fan, Bell, where are you at on that?
I have Boyd one spot ahead of Davis in my rankings. And I feel more comfortable going with Boyd probably in that spot. I like Ford's usage in Cleveland, but I agree with Jagger there that matchup is very nervous. I don't know if I want any part of that game. If I can actually avoid it, I think Boyd gives you a solid safe floor where you're looking at 10 to 12 PPR points and hoping for a touchdown on top of that.
What I always like to do when someone asks me about 2 players that are back-to-back in my rankings is imagine that they went to my rankings, which makes me feel good because I feel like they're going to check out my rankings, which a reminder, all the Football Guys rankings are free at footballguys.com. How about that segue, right, guys? That was good, wasn't it?
It was great.
All right, Filthy one. Half PPR, Trey McBride or TJ Hawkinson? Jeff, between those 2 tight ends.
I'm still ranking Hawkinson over McBride. I think it would probably come down to if I can afford to be conservative in my lineup, I would go with McBride probably, but I still am going to rank Hawkinson over him.
Okay, and then a wide receiver I think is going to get a lot of love in DFS today. Tank Dell. Would you guys start him over Deontay Johnson, DeAndre Hopkins, James Cook, or Josh Jacobs this week in a flex position? Wow, your team's loaded, Filthy one.
James Cook, I think, is the only name I would start him over relative to those other names. I've got Deontay Johnson and Hopkins both as wide receiver ones this week in my rankings, and I don't have Bell quite there.
Juicy matchup for Pittsburgh, who doesn't have a lot of those.
All right, Charlie Moriarty in here. 6 points, pass, rush, reception, TD. So if you scored a TD in Charlie's league, you're getting 6 points. And then 1 point for 10 passing yards and -3 for interceptions. A lot of settings here. Should we ride the Burrow wave with the injuries today or start Sam Howell? I'm sticking with Joe Burrow, even though he's going to be one really great receiver down. Jeff,
I think so.
Along.
Yeah, I think getting Burrow has shown himself to be Joe Burrow over the last couple of weeks, and worrying about the injuries, I think is just getting a little bit too cute at this point. I think that game could shoot out, and I think Burrow can put up numbers even without Higgins and maybe even with a limited Chase.
Jagger, you on the same page there?
Yeah. And like Jeff said, if you try to think it how it makes sense, but you can't get too cute. And the Bengals really do have sort of a plug and play offense, like guys with Trent Irwin, Yoshivas. I think he'll be fine, and he's mobile again. He's himself.
All right, Karen's in here. Good morning, Karen. I always like that picture of the deer she's got. That makes me happy. 3 questions, standard league. Between these quarterbacks, we need to start one: Kyler Murray, Trevor Lawrence, or Baker Mayfield. Jagger, are we going
I
with
think I'm
your doppelganger this week, apparently? Or
Yeah, I think I'm gonna roll with Kyler Murray this week. As much as I want to play Jacksonville, I mean they still have had a little like some issues along their offensive line, and then they're playing an improved 49ers defense. I don't know what Kyler's gonna be like. I don't know what he's rushing, but right now I don't think Trevor Lawrence has given me much to really feel like he's a must start. But at the end of the day, like Baker Mayfield's not bad. So like to me, Kyler Murray's the ceiling play, but Baker Mayfield has performed well, and Tennessee is an easy matchup. So I'm giving you the cop out answer that Kyler Murray is the ceiling, Baker Mayfield safe floor. Jeff, bring me back to reality and disappoint me, I guess.
I've got them back to back in my ranks, and I think that I would play Kyler over Trevor Lawrence. I do believe now that, kind of one of the things about making ranks is occasionally you get those questions and it forces you to dig a little bit deeper in the direction you would go. And I like everything I've heard from Kyler Murray. The expectation is the rushing will be back there. So I will go with Kyler Murray over Lawrence.
Yeah, I agree with you guys both. I also agree with Jagger on the Baker Mayfield. It's a good matchup today. I've started him a lot in 2 quarterback leagues. I'm not starting over either of these guys, but if you have to start him in a 2 quarterback league today, I think you're in a good spot. All right. And she's also got at wide receiver, Lockett, Godwin, Douglas is already on the field, or Singletary at the flex. I like the matchup for Godwin today. It'd be Godwin for me. Jeff, what about you?
I would go with Lockett here. I think
Okay.
they have a matchup as well against Washington that could shoot out.
And if will Jamar Chase play today, and if so, will be effective? I think if he's on the field, you got to expect that he's going to be Jamar Chase.
Yes,
I think if he's out there, that's what you have to expect. Kyler or Sam Howell? I think we answered that Kyler Murray earlier there for you. Morning, Mike. Up the rule: put a dog in the picture, and I'll put your question up. Good morning, guys. If Chase is active, do I risk starting him over Tank Dell? Worried about him being active but being very limited. Thanks. Kind of like we said, if he's out there, he's going to be Jamar Chase. I would start him over Tank Dell.
Yeah, and Adam can expound on it when he's here, but it's my understanding that Chase's injury is just kind of a pain management thing. That back is just hurts, and it's not the type of thing that's going to, as long as he's managing the pain and once the adrenaline and once the other things get flowing, I think that he'll probably be fine.
All right, Scott Betts in here. I've got one spot: Gus Edwards, Romeo Doubs, Alexander Madison, or Trey McBride. He's got 4 interesting options there. Jeff, which one would you be going with?
Gus Edwards, given what we've seen so far, probably maybe Madison over him. I think you're going with one of the running backs over the Green Bay's passing offense always makes me nervous. And then McBride, I think you're getting a little bit too aggressive to put a tight end over a running back. I think Madison or Gus Edwards. Edwards probably is more limited given the matchup against Cleveland, but Madison, I think I probably would lean Madison. That's where I've got it ranked out.
Yeah, I'd say Madison by a little bit, but to make you feel better, Jeff, is why I thought about Gus Edwards. And again, this is just me playing Vegas numbers. And I kind of said this earlier in a different show today. The over-under is 38 points. Baltimore 6.5-point favorites, even with that low of a number. And a lot of that is that even with this being a tough defense, they at least have playmakers that can get a big play. And there's going to be a red zone opportunity, and Gus Edwards is likely going to be the guy. Lamar Jackson hasn't thrown 2 TDs in a game, I don't think yet, to be honest. So
perfect. Harlan, good morning. Is this the day to start Jared Goff over Justin Herbert? If you ask me, yes. But I want to ask Jeff and Jagger because I want to hear where they stand on Herbert this week. Jagger, would you start Goff over Herbert?
Yes, I think I would.
Okay.
And I would not. I would still have Herbert. Okay. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, Herbert's been struggling of late, so maybe you guys are right there. I don't have it ranked that way right now.
On the flip side of Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff has thrown 2 TD passes, I think in like more games than not. So that's when you don't have a rushing floor, I kind of go with who's going to throw the TDs.
Gotcha. Mike is in with yours today again. Hello, my guys. We're his guys, apparently. That's cool. Thanks for being here with us as always. Jahan Dotson or Debo Samuel, half-point PPR? Excuse me. Jeff, we'll go to you.
I think you're still going Debo here. I like that matchup against Jacksonville, but yeah, I'm very encouraged by Dotson. I called Dotson a buy on the Dynasty show right before the breakout of the last couple of weeks, and I'm feeling pretty good about Dotson so far.
Yep, I think I slightly lean Dotson solely because of matchup and Debo, where he's going to fall in the pecking order. I just feel a little bit safer, and I know that feels weird considering, but I'm like Jeff. I've always believed in Dotson. We just needed this to happen.
Gotcha. Morning, Jack is in here with us again. Good morning, sirs. I plan on starting Schultz at my tight end, slot 1 point. He's going to start Schultz at his tight end. Then he needs one more. He's got McBride. I would stick Schultz over McBride. And please advise on the flex spot. So he could start McBride, Jerome Ford, Alexander Madison, or McBride.
I think Madison, we talked about that a minute ago. I still, Schultz in your tight end 1 spot, Madison in your flex spot.
All right. Sean Jackson. Good morning, guys. Oh, called us fantasy gurus. Isn't that sweet? Half PPR running back and a tight end question. At the running back position, needs to start 2 of Jacobs, Derrick Henry, or Montgomery. So out of those 2, ooh, man, that's going to be a tough sit between those 3.
I think it's easy for me to sit Jacobs in this one, and a lot of that you want to talk about one of the ugliest games. The Jets Raiders seem like an ugly game. Say what you want about the Jets, they're generating pressure and they're putting out a good defense. And I don't know how many red zone opportunities that Jacobs is going to have. So at least Henry still getting the usage, even though he's not the same person with it. And I'm pretty comfortable putting Montgomery back into my lineup because albeit Gibbs will probably get more than he did before, Montgomery's still going to have plenty of red zone opportunities.
I mean, you're really hoping for a touchdown, I think, with David Montgomery, whereas Jacobs, I think, has a little bit safer path to points. Absent that touchdown, I hear you there. I would probably lean towards sitting Montgomery. The Chargers have been strong against the running back over the last couple of weeks. And so that split, we don't know where it's going to fall in Jahmyr Gibbs. There's just a lot of uncertainty with Montgomery coming back from injury. So I lean towards Jacobs and Henry when I've got it ranked out.
Yeah, for me, I would also be sitting Montgomery, and it has nothing to do with the talents. If it was a talent issue, I would start Henry and Montgomery. But I have this rule of like first week back from a player off injury, if I have a good option other than them, I like to sit them. And so that's the only reason I would be sitting Montgomery. And then a tight end, reduce snap share in Hawkinson or Ingram playing with Lawrence.
Ingram leads the Jaguars in snaps. So I would just put Ingram in there because I know he's going to be out there getting targets.
Yeah, okay. I agree with that.
ESM in here. Good morning, guys. 1 point PPR. Kyler Murray, Purdy, Geno, or just toss a coin. Tossing coins are fun. So, I mean, you've added an option that no one normally puts in here for us, but I think we can diagnose this one. I think it would be Brock Purdy for me, believe it or not.
It is Brock Purdy.
Okay. Yeah, I like that matchup against Jacksonville. I think it could end up being a sneaky shootout. So, all right. And while we're at it, Charbonnet, Christian Watson, or Jameson Williams in the flex. Struggling here. Thank you.
Charbonnet for me out of those 2. He's just got a near 50-50 split with Walker when it comes to snaps at least. And so I like him better to get into the end zone than the other 2, I think.
Moreover, he's in on passing downs too. And to be honest, I'm assuming this is redraft. Jameson Williams is probably a player that you shouldn't move on from. You're probably at a trade deadline, but with DPJ coming in, I really worry about his usage. So
perfect. We've reached the point of the show that I look forward to every week. Waffles with his picture of pancakes is here. Ahoy! With Nico and Pierce out, does Singletary reach flex consideration over Gibbs, James Cook, and Madison? No, not for me. And
no, we haven't seen them run the ball. Like we're almost at Thanksgiving, and they haven't run the ball once like this year. I just don't think it's in the cards for the Texans.
Munzie Munz in here. Good morning. Need a win, so chasing upside in 6 points per passing touchdown league. With upside, are you going Kyler or CJ Stroud? CJ Stroud has looked really good this season. Maybe Stroud for me.
Yeah, he's looked really good. The Bengals have a low-key stout defense. They keep everything in front of them, and I think this is going to be the over/under for this game. To me, I think I lean Kyler Murray. I know that's crazy to do, and I'm willing to eat it. I just feel like if you need the win, I'd rather chase the Kyler Murray upside because of the matchup over CJ Stroud. Because CJ Stroud doesn't have that great of rushing floor. He's kind of Joe Burrow-esque. I feel like Joe Burrow is playing himself today. So
I was going to make a man in the mirror joke, but I pulled back on that.
That's hilarious.
Anne's in here with us as always. Gluten Tog, apparently not Guten Tag, it's gluten. It's Anne's reading my belly, apparently. Flex half point PPR. Tyler Boyd, Brian Robinson, or Devin Singletary. My studs are on bye. Guys, we're not on bye this week. I don't know what she's talking about. Yeah, there we go. Jeff gave a wink too. I like that. So, guys, between those three, Tyler Boyd, Brian Robinson, and Singletary, who I believe Devin Singletary is going to be out of it for us this week on this. So it would be between Boyd and Robinson.
Brian Robinson comfortably for me. I love that match. I think Seattle and Washington is a game you want to get players into.
Same. It's my second favorite fantasy matchup, I think.
All right, Jay Morgan's got 2 questions for us. Dak or Stroud? Stroud for me. Dak's got a good matchup, though. Whew.
Dak for me.
Jagger, where are you on that?
I've got Dak at quarterback 2 in my rankings.
Okay.
The point spread is 17, and I think it's a bloodbath. Minus 1450 for Dallas. So,
gotcha. And debating on this question here: Tank Dell or Jahmyr Gibbs at the flex? Mm-hmm. Jeff, where are you on that?
Jahmyr Gibbs. I think I'm probably a little bit higher than most on Gibbs, but I think the genie's out of the bottle. I don't see him just disappearing. So
feels really good agreeing with Jeff so much this morning.
I'm loving all the agreement today. Everyone's favorite tight end, Taysom Hill or Dalton Schultz, and half PPR.
Taysom Hill's my tight end 1.
Let's go, Jeff. All right.
He's been over the last month. He's been tight end 1 in the NFL. So, I mean,
it's true. All right, Waffles, one more if you don't mind. We don't mind at all. Hollywood Brown or Dalton Kincaid in the flex. You guys rock. You rock,
Kincaid.
Waffles.
Yeah, Kincaid.
Yeah. Carl Benson. Hey, people, what's happening? It's what's happening. All right, there we go. PPR, 12 points per touchdown. Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray?
Lamar.
Are we getting Lamar? It'd be Lamar for me. Jagger, you've been on the Kyler train.
It's Lamar. My brain's breaking right now thinking about it, but it's Lamar. So,
and George, I know we said the Pittsburgh's got a juicy matchup. George Pickens or Zay Flowers? Zay Flowers does not have a juicy matchup.
It's George
Pickens.
On that.
Me, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Steve Fisher, trade question. I send Geno and Tyreek to the Dolphins homer for Burrow and AJ Brown. So
do it.
Ooh.
Yes.
2 keeper, and I have Chase already. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing this.
Do it.
Yep.
Smash.
Good job. Well done. Oh, so Jamar Chase is playing. That's exciting news. So fire Jamar Chase up in all your leagues. Garrett Wilson or Marquise Brown? Jagger, where are you at?
I've actually been thinking about this question for a while, and I think I'm going to go with Marquise Brown in this one by a little bit. I don't know. Actually, Garrett Wilson, he's been producing, and this is a case of start your stud. Not that Marquise Brown isn't good, but even say what you want about Zach Wilson, he at least learned how to get his good guy the ball in some facet.
Yeah, I have Wilson comfortably over Marquise Brown this week.
Fred Brown's in here with us today. Hey, Fred Brown at the Pretend GM. There used to be a show called Pretend GM. It was pretty good. Another Sunday with Joey, Jagger, and Jeff. If we do this again next year, guys, which I totally think we should get like a cool graphic with like 3 J's.
Yeah,
it'd be pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Yep. Maybe you could put it on a t-shirt. I don't know. Just trying to make some money out here. All right, Matthew Wells. Good morning. Chase, London, or Flowers in PPR?
You ranked them. You did it.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things you say, Jagger. It's so encouraging to our viewers. Please help with who to start. Trevor Lawrence or Geno Smith. Thanks for your help. Love your work and content. So I'm assuming that one was directed right at you, Jeff.
That's too kind.
All right. So Trevor Lawrence or Geno Smith, guys, where are we at on that one?
Lawrence, comfortably.
Kyle's agreeing with us on something here, saying I'm personally starting Kincaid with every chance I have. His time is now. I think Kyle's a John Cena fan there. That little quote. And Harlan, good morning, guys. Is today the day? Oh yeah, we went over this.
Mm-hmm.
And Fred wants to give you a cup of coffee and a hug.
Yeah, man, I need all that.
All right. So Pop Douglas apparently had a screen, and it was everything.
Right before halftime, the garbage time.
That's how far we are. Oh, okay. Oh, Elaine in a sombrero, like that. Jahan Dotson or Trey McBride, full PPR.
Jahan Dotson. It's got to be like real compelling for me to put a tight end in the flex, to be honest with you.
It has to be Kincaid, kind of, yeah. Like
in some deep leagues, I'm putting Chig in like my third flex spot, and more leagues than I was expecting to be doing this morning.
How do you feel about that this morning, Joey?
I don't feel good, but I think he might have a sneaky good game because the Bucks if you can throw on the Bucks all day long.
Andrew Cooper got me last night. He had a tweet about Chico Okonkwo is leaving a lot on the field, and one of these weeks it's going to pop. So that Cooper is the tight end whisperer, and that kind of raised my eyebrows a little bit.
Coop, he does know his tight ends, that's for sure. Knows nothing else, though. And let's clip this and send it to Andrew so he can hear me say that. He was my nemesis on a morning show last season, but I love him to death. All right, Terry McLaurin, DK Metcalf, or David Montgomery. Start 2 in PPR. Which one of these guys are we sitting, guys?
I'm sitting Metcalf, I think.
Yeah, I think so, too.
L's. Hopefully there's no L's out there today for people. Hope it's lots of W's. Starting Lockett and JSN against Washington. This is the first time that I think all 3 Seattle wide receivers have been this healthy. None of them are on the injury report. So are we starting both of them against Washington today?
I mean, if you need to, I feel good about both of them in that matchup. I feel good about the volume that they've both been getting of late. If you need to do it, then you can do it.
All right, just a reminder, Adam Hutchison is going to be here with us in about 10 minutes to go over some of the injuries. We'll get his kind sight on the Jamar Chase injury to see if it might limit him at all today. So definitely keep an eye on that. And Jonathan Taylor just went over 50 rushing yards for the day, so that's good. Sean Jackson, all TD 6 points, starting Sam Howell, or should he pick up Geno Smith? So would you start Geno Smith over Sam Howell?
No.
Nope.
Geno's playing good in real life, but bad in fantasy.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that there's like a turning point for Geno here with the receivers being healthy. He's got a good second half of the season schedule. Someone I was really high on at the beginning of the year, but just hasn't really shown it this year. All right, we'll see. Is that Joe Burrow in his picture there? Yeah, I think that's Joe Burrow. Morning, guys. PPR need one flex. James Cook, Calvin Ridley, or Trey McBride. Jeff is not a fan of starting Trey McBride in the flex unless you absolutely have to. I think you've got 2 other good options here. So Jeff, James Cook, or Calvin Ridley, which one?
I feel better about Cook. I mean, Ridley, if you really need upside, there's the chance that he goes off against San Francisco. We've seen some big performances against San Francisco's defense the last couple of weeks, but Ridley also has disappeared over the last couple of weeks. So James Cook kind of is that middle there.
Yeah, I feel most comfortable. This is a week I feel really good about James Cook. So if I'm really upset tomorrow, you guys know why.
All right. Jagger, Jets defense or Pittsburgh's defense?
Jets defense, easy.
And Jagger, Alfredo's agreeing with you on the running backs for the Steelers. He's got Najee Harris as his start of the week.
And Dave had Jalen Hurts, so you're both my special boys. So.
All right. Oh, Mr. Scampers is in here. Everyone's favorite chat cat. Every chat needs one. So good morning, Scampers. Always love seeing you in here. And then Will is like, oh, wait, Alfredo's here? We don't need Jeff, Jagger, and Joey. Get rid of this. No, I'm kidding. That was a question. We answered it. And Alfredo's answering questions. Annie's in here. Good morning, guys. Brock Purdy or CJ Stroud? in the same game, hurting without Tyreek and Nico out. Thanks. So definitely needs a little bit of some upside points here. It'd still be Brock Purdy for me.
And those matchups are swapped. So Purdy against Jacksonville and Stroud against Cincinnati. So when you say it like that, you know the answer.
Oh, I got all confused. I saw, yeah.
Yeah.
Joey, where do you have Brock
Yeah.
Purdy in your rankings this week?
Ooh, great question from me, Jeff. Let me pull them up real quick. I have him as my QB 8.
Okay. I have him 7, so we're in the same ballpark.
I completely disagree with you. You're way too high on Brock Purdy, Jeff. Who do I have at 7? I have CJ Stroud at 7. So apparently I lied to our viewers. I have Stroud one spot ahead of Purdy. But see, this is the kind of thing that makes you decide, like, okay,
makes you
back to back.
So yes.
So I'll have to make that adjustment. All right, Logan Thomas or Cade Otton, my tight end darling Cade Otton for my Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or Logan Thomas. Jeff, where are you going on that one?
Logan Thomas. I love Cade Otton and I love what he's done of late, but that is a brutal matchup against tight ends. Tennessee's really shut down tight ends.
Fred's making fun of my shirt. This is my Liverpool top, and he should not do that. All right, full PPR. Susan Bader's in here. What'd you say?
I said I think it's cute you call it a top.
Yeah, it's my kit, my top. I will not call it a jersey. Flex, Tyler Boyd, Brown or Ingram.
Wait, did they call them? They don't call them jerseys in England?
They call them kits, tops. There's a bunch of different expressions. There's this whole thing about like, because I watch Premier League football, where nobody wants to call anything by the easy name. They all just want to call it difficult names because they don't want to be associated with American football. They should just lean into it.
Here's a question. I'm going to put this to Jeff. This is where I would think I would put Ingram. Like, this is another one where Ingram to me is just he's a slot receiver. He's a Tito tight end and title only. So I'd rather have Ingram over any of these guys.
Yeah, I agree there. I think that's one. Like I said, Boyd always gets the bump whenever, like the buzz bump, but his production doesn't really change when one of the wide receivers are out. And Noah Brown, I think you're really kind of chasing points. Maybe I'll be wrong there on Brown, but it feels chasing to me.
All right, next question. Oh, KJ Osborne has been declared officially out. Just a little update there. Question for Mr. Scampers, Gabby Baby or Zay Flores?
I'm putting Gabe in there. I'm putting Gabe.
Yeah, Flowers has really struggled lately, and the Browns are not an easy matchup.
Yeah, Flowers is my number one boy, and he's my sit of the week. So it was hard, but like for real, like it's not good.
This is where we are.
We had a great debate this week about Dalton Kincaid or Zay Flowers in our chat, and we kind of, I think Jagger is changing his mind a little bit on where he was earlier this week.
A little. This is off camera stuff, Jeff.
We got a little peek behind the curtain. That's true. A little peek behind the curtain, but yeah.
We mainly just talk about ice cream though in that chat, from what I remember. Good morning, beautiful people. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Sam Howell or Trevor Lawrence today in a 4-point per passing touchdown league. Thanks, guys, and stay frosty. Okay, I'll stay frosty.
I think I would play Howell, and I know that. Yeah, so.
Keep trying to change something. You guys keep answering them short. All right. Chase is playing pregame warm-up. Went well. Love to see that. Thank
you for the information.
Yeah,
we love it when you guys post stuff in there.
Yeah, doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, because we're up in here on the show. Sometimes the news slips by us. We appreciate you guys getting in there and being part of the show. That's what it's all about. Okay, Stroud or Murray. We answered this a little bit earlier. I believe it was. Did we go Kyler or did we go Stroud?
I have Kyler above Stroud now.
I think Stroud is going to have like a average week. He's going to look mortal this week.
Lou Amarino is going to put him in the blender, I think, is what's going to happen there.
Yeah. The Bengals have no matter what's on that defense, they always seem to be pretty stout. So
Blake Lockwood in here. That's like a romance novel name. Blake Lockwood. I don't know. Good morning, guys. Full PPR. Mm-hmm. Lamar or Watson at the quarterback?
Oof.
Lamar.
Yeah.
And should he start Barkley or Cook at running back? I
Cook.
think you're going to go. Ooh, okay. James Cook over Barkley?
I still have Barkley. I mean, is Leonard Fournette? You think Leonard Fournette's going to be active this week?
No. I read that I think he's going to be limited this week if he plays at all, and next week is when they're going to ease him in. And like maybe like you guys can, again, it feels like I'm always a wild card, but I think Barkley is an RB2 going forward, if not like a low end RB2, especially with this matchup against Dallas. It's hard for me to want to put him in my lineups. Like as good as Barkley is, this offense is somehow worse than it's ever been. It's pretty shocking, to be honest.
Yeah, it's an offense I'm not just worried about this season, but just going into the future. Because they gave Daniel Jones that big contract. It's like, man, how are they going to get out of this mess?
You draft Caleb Williams after you don't win another game this year.
Well, could be. Who was it? No, that was Chris Rock was trying to get Caleb Williams to go to the Jets. There was a clip of those two hanging out. So those would be Josh Dobbs or Lamar Jackson for James. He's wanting to know between those guys. I guess it'll be Lamar. I think we do like Josh Dobbs, but we'll go with Lamar.
Lamar for sure.
And David's saying that TJ Hawkinson's going to be on a snap count today. No. As long as those snaps that he takes are in the red zone, I think we'll be okay. And Barkley could get some dump offs in PPR. That could be. All right. And a second running back, Dave needs Walker or Montgomery, if you need to choose between those two. Jagger,
I have Montgomery above Walker right now.
Same.
Okay. Then need a wide receiver. Puka's on bye and T is out. He's got Christian Watson left. Well, you just solved your issue. You're going to put Christian Watson in there and hope for the best. As Jagger would say, you actually didn't rank them. You put them in reverse. Daiquiri, man, he's just clapping for us, and I appreciate it. Next time I have a daiquiri, I'll clap before I drink it, but I don't drink daiquiris. So, lax flex spot. I need one: Zay Flowers, Jahan Dotson, or JSN. So I know we've been down on Zay Flowers. A little bit of positivity towards Jahan Dotson there, but would you start Dotson over JSN today?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. And Jakob in here. Oh, there's a dog. Love it. PPR. With 40 and 50-yard touchdown bonuses. Should he start Noah Brown or Rashid Shaheed? He's already starting Tank Dell, and he's facing CJ Stroud. Thanks for help. There's nothing better than having the boom bust wide receiver of the guy you're going against if they got the quarterback and then a long touchdown. It's like, yeah, all those points are coming to me. Well, I'm glad you got your 5 points out of that. All right, so would you start Noah Brown and Rashid Shaheed, guys?
Shaheed.
Okay.
Shaheed is one of my wild card plays where, you got to roll the dice and you need to shoot for points. Shaheed. To me, he didn't have a week last week. Yeah. They didn't have a week last week. So Shaheed, this could be his week. That's completely mental gymnastics. But
Jeff, we've reached the sad portion of this show where we're going to kick you off. But I want you to have a great Sunday. Any parting words for our audience out there today, Jeff?
Good luck, everybody. And I am not going to end the stream like I had the last time I was kicked off. So have a great day, everybody.
I just want to say that you've never done that when I've hosted the show. Only when those other two guys, which I don't know who they are anymore. You guys. You only did it to them. You would never do that to me, Jeff. And you wouldn't do it to Jagger either. So, Jeff, thank you so much. And we'll chat with you later, buddy.
See ya.
And that's going to bring on our good friend, Adam Hutchison. Adam, how you doing today?
Oh. I'm doing well. Can you guys see me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you great.
Perfect.
All right, Rook, well, we got you here for a reason. I want to talk about some of the players out and whatnot, maybe the future impacts of that. So we do know out today, this is injury recap here. Damian Pierce, Nico Collins, T. Higgins, Justin Jefferson won't be making his return today, and Treylon Burks. I'm interested in T. Higgins. How long is this injury that he has? What we might be seeing it linger?
Yeah, I mean, for wide receivers, on average, they miss about 2.5 weeks with a hamstring injury. They can linger. They have some of the not the highest, but some of the highest in re-injury rate when we're looking at NFL wide receivers. It sounds like T. Higgins kind of tweaked it midweek. I thought this week was going to be a long shot. Next week, possibly, depending on the severity of it, I would still have a contingency plan if T. Higgins is somebody that I was using in my fantasy lineups in week 11. But week 12, definitely a possibility.
Okay. And also out today, confirmed earlier, was KJ Osborne. We had him in the not expected category, but he's not going to be playing. He's out today. And then some questionable players, but we do know Jamar Chase will be on the field today. Adam, this is like the big name of the injury reports. How limited, if at all, are we expecting Jamar Chase to be today?
I mean, it's tough because we don't really know the exact injury. I mean, we're assuming that he's dealing with like a bruised back, some back spasms. When we're looking at fantasy football production, as I pull up the chart here, on average, wide receivers can see anywhere between a 20 to 25% dip in fantasy production, which sounds like a lot. But for a guy like Jamar Chase, wide receiver 1 tier, you're not benching Jamar Chase based on that information.
Okay. And then expected to play today, Kyler Murray is going to make his season debut. James Conner's returned to the field. TJ Hawkinson is going to be on a snap count. We got confirmation of that earlier. And Keaton Mitchell will be out there. But they will be playing about Kyler, Adam. Like, I know that everyone on the show today has been pretty high on Kyler. Should we expect much rust from him today, or should he have a pretty good return from this injury?
The biggest thing that I've looked at for Kyler, because in terms of fantasy football production, his running ability is obviously what gives him that high floor and that high ceiling. For someone like Kyler Murray, over the past 4 seasons, about 30% of his fantasy production has come from his legs, from running plays. When I kind of devised a little bit of a model, I guess you would say, looking at quarterbacks that are coming off of a major lower body injury, and what their rushing production looks like. For Kyler Murray, he slotted in somewhere between like the quarterback 15 to 17 for me, just because I think you see fewer rushing plays. I have him projected right now for his fewest yards per carry of his career. Does that hurt his ceiling a little bit? Yes, but I still think he's somebody to be excited about as a passer, and especially the way this offense has looked with Joshua Dobbs under center the last couple of weeks. They got Hollywood Brown. Michael Wilson is back. Trey McBride has emerged, and then you got James Conner coming back, who is a capable receiver out of the backfield. So I think there's definitely some reason to be excited about Kyler Murray, but he's somebody that maybe that elite QB1 that we're used to in years past might take a little bit of time.
Okay. And the next player I want to ask about will be the last one. We'll get into some questions. TJ Hawkinson, how he's on a snap count. How limited do we think he might be today?
I mean, that one's tough. If you're watching the game in Germany right now, Joshua Dobbs, they said the same thing on a snap count, and he's definitely been not out there the majority of the snaps. Maybe they have him dialed up for some red zone packages. We know how effective he is in there. It's tough with the tight end landscape, especially with some bye weeks this week. If you had Dallas Goedert, you definitely are feeling, how shallow the tight end position is. So I'd still play him, but yeah, you're basically going to be hoping for a touchdown if he's on a limited snap count.
Gotcha. Yeah, it looks like the Patriots are on the 5-yard line right now, so we might have a scoring play here soon. All right, guys, let's get back into these. I know, let's get back into these questions. Figure out where exactly I was at. All right. I remember Jagger May clapping for us. Here we go. Jake, Christian Kirk, or Calvin Ridley? So 2 Jaguars receivers. Adam, between those 2 players, who do you prefer today?
Christian Kirk. I've been a big Christian Kirk fan, and I know some people feel like he's taken over the wide receiver 1 position, and I would be one of those people.
All right, Harlan with another one for us. Is today the day? Oh, yeah, we've gone over this, Harlan. Today is that day. Actually, Adam, I'll ask you. Jared Goff or Justin Herbert? If you had to start one of those quarterbacks.
I have Justin Herbert in a couple of leagues, and I've kind of been disappointed, to be honest, but I would still be playing Justin Herbert.
Okay. Matthew McConnell, half PPR, Lockett or London?
I might play Lock. Like I'll try to get both these guys into your lineup as much as possible. I don't know who's in your flex, but I lean London in this one just because I know I'm talking about Atlanta, but Seattle's struggled on offense a lot, and there's a lot of mouths to feed. So,
all right. Guys, we're going to be here with you for about 15 more minutes today. But right after this at noon, was it? Corey Spall is going to be in our Discord going over any starts and sits in our Sunday Discord AMA, and we'll definitely throw the link in the chat before we head out of here today for you on that. And Kyle, a question for us: Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray, or Sam Howell? He's swapped him out multiple times, but he's leaning Burrow. That'd be the way I would lean. Jagger, which way are you leaning?
Yeah, I'm going with the guy. And that's it. I'm just going with the guy.
Nice to see Adam nodding there. So Toby, Logan Thomas or Kyle Pitts in full PPR?
What a weird year. I feel like you got to, like, to be honest, they're kind of performing the same right here, but I think the tight end matchup, Arizona's actually been covering him pretty well. So I think I would go with Logan Thomas just because there should be points at least in that matchup, and Sam Howell's just been slinging him. So,
are you there too, Adam?
Yeah, that's where I'm leaning. Splitting some hairs there, but I agree with what Jagger said there.
All right, and Toby, thanks for being here with us this morning. Matthew, good morning. We went over this Lockett or London, and where are we on Saquon this week? We were all kind of a little low on Saquon this week based on matchup and that Giants offense looking a little rough for the immediate future. And thank you. It's I don't know how to read this. 325 American elk with a compound bow, 48 yards. I said I liked Karen's deer. I just now noticed that it was mounted. I thought it was just a deer walking through a conference room. I don't know what I was thinking. Francis, trade Ingram or Kincaid for Judy, non-tight end premium, half PPR. Yeah. I'm not letting Kincaid go. Or Ingram,
we were just talking about this with Jeff. Like Ingram and Kincaid are wide receivers. They're not tight ends. They're just big wide receivers. So you could probably start both of them.
In a guillotine league, will Joey lose in a PPR one? Absolutely not. Joey won't lose. Joey's going to win. That's what he does. All right, Joe Wavy, T-Law or Derek Carr, 6 points for TD scoring. So let's answer that one first. He does have a second question. So, Joe, we're going to go T-Law or Derek Carr. I think it'll be T-Law. Adam, where are you at on that?
Yeah, I'm going Trevor Lawrence. I'm playing my stud quarterback.
And Jagger, your start of the week was the Pittsburgh running backs. Would you start one of them over Jahan Dotson? That being Jaylen Warren?
Yeah, like I feel really good about their floor this week. So,
okay, and Scamper saying that Godwin has an illness, but he's expected to play. That makes me sad as a Bucs fan, but he'll be out there. That's good. David Harris, full PPR. Pickens or McBride in the flex. It's going to be George Pickens. He's 2-7. Really needs a win. Hope you get that win this week, Dave. Good morning. Jordan Addison or Dotson at the wide receiver. It's our first Jordan Addison question today. Adam, how are we feeling about Jordan Addison with Joshua Dobbs? Will we start him over Dotson?
That is tough because, Jordan Addison with Kirk Cousins was obviously very good. I think I would, just because we've seen a little bit more from Jordan Addison, but I was a big Jahan Dotson fan coming into this season, and he's definitely lit it up the past 2 weeks. So I understand wanting to ride the hot hand, but I think we have a bigger sample size of Jordan Addison that I'd be leaning that way.
All right, Geno or Stroud? I think we were saying Stroud earlier. And James Conner will be will he be effective today? I was going to say, we know he's active. Adam, how effective do we think James Conner could be today?
Yeah, I'm pulling up some of the data I have on just running backs with a knee injury. Some of this when we look at like fantasy production when they come back, so on average a 22% decline. I mean, that sounds substantial and that sounds decent. A lot of that has to do with sometimes they're just not playing as many snaps, as they get back for the first game. The offense is trying to integrate them. So I probably put him in that like wide receiver, running back 3 flex tier. But that's kind of where I'm at.
All right. Jagger, should you start TJ Hawkinson or Jake Ferguson between those tight ends? So Hawkinson on a snap cap or Jake Ferguson?
According to what Adam said and pointing out Josh Downs, who we all know, we all like, I think I got to go with Ferguson because Ferguson's one of those things like we've talked about this, Joey. He's a Dallas tight end. He's getting targets. He does some things with them like, so like there's at least that. So like he has a safe floor, and we just don't know what Hawkinson's going to look like. So I think I will just roll with Jake Ferguson and chalk it up to injury with Hawkinson.
CJ or T-Law from Boar.
T-Law.
Boar looks like Iron Man. So T-Law. All right. Zach in here with us this morning. Need to start a running back and a flex. So the running back he got to choose between would be Jahmyr Gibbs or Javonte Williams. It'd be Jahmyr Gibbs for me. Jagger, what about you?
Javonte by a smidge, and it's matchup dependent. I think it's really juicy in the running game. It has really come along, and he's gotten. I think Javonte's had a crazy amount of carries the last 2 games. They finally are letting him loose. So,
Adam, break the tie.
I'm going to go with Gibbs. I know David Montgomery's going to be back, which could hurt that, but I like what I've seen from Gibbs.
Now, so would we start Javonte over Garrett Wilson, Dotson, or JSN? I'm much more inclined to do that.
I think I would start Javonte and Garrett Wilson.
Okay.
Like if I'm making a lineup, those are the 2 guys that I'm trying to get in there, and then I'm going to tinker until kickoff with everyone else with Gibbs and Dotson to try to force it and make it work.
All right, Adam, real quick, what's the minor league baseball team on your hat? Is that a minor league team?
Yeah, Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. I used to live in Jacksonville, Florida, so
okay, not far
frequented Jumbo Shrimp game every now and then. $5 Thursday beer night, so can't beat that.
I thought I recognized it. I live close to Daytona Beach. We got the Tortugas here, so I think that we came up there to play them quite a bit.
I'm not gonna lie, Jumbo Shrimp as a mascot is the most Jacksonville thing I've ever heard. Like that's incredible.
It kind of
is. There was always a woman. I don't know how she was always there when I was there. She had to be a season ticket holder, but they would start a chant and you would just hear her yell, "Shrimp, shrimps," the whole game.
I imagine sitting next to her was delightful.
Yeah.
All right, Watson or Jacoby Myers. So Christian Watson or Jacoby Myers for Trey. Adam, which one of those 2 are we starting today?
I'm going Jacoby Myers, and it's not even close. I don't know what's going on with Christian Watson. He's been battling a couple injuries. I know the offense hasn't been as prolific, but he's somebody at this point in the season, like I got to see it before I'm putting him into my lineups.
Thank you for saying that, because like I was going to ask you about Christian Watson. I'm like I remember that the injury report, it was just lit up like every injury, like on a video game, where it shows like, oh, this is where your opponent's hurt. It was just all bright red. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I mean the Packers definitely dropped a bomb on us last week when they were saying like it was his back and he's out with concussion, and it sounds like the concussion was the most limiting. He was able to clear the concussion protocol, but from the start of the season when he's been dealing with that hamstring injury, had a re-aggravation, knee injury, he popped up on the injury report with a couple times. Something's not right with Christian Watson, so I'm just keeping him out of my lineups.
All right, I hate Malcolm Butler. I hope you guys can work it out. Need a win, deciding between his second flex, JSN, Trey McBride, Najee Harris, and Christian Watson. So he needs a win. Jagger's start of the day was the Pittsburgh running back, so I think it might be Najee Harris here. It'd be for me. Yeah. I know for Jagger. Adam, you united on that?
Yeah, let's make it easy for him.
All right. Yeah. Love that. When that
need
happens.
a win. There's a lot Najee in.
Yeah.
There was a lot of agreement between Jagger and Jeff in the first part of the show today, and actually got me a little worried that like maybe Christmas is a little sooner than we expected. Like miracles are happening. I don't know what was going on. Hey guys, Josh Dobbs or Kyler Murray at quarterback today? It'd be Kyler Murray. Jason, PPR flex spot, Gus Edwards or Dalton Schultz? Please and thank you. I really like Dalton Schultz this week. It's in a flex spot. Jagger, are you going to give me any confidence to start in Schultz, or are you going to still go Gus Edwards?
I'm still going to go with the Gus bus. I was honestly, the entire time you were talking, I was trying to figure out what sound a bus makes. Would it be beep beep? Because I want to go like choo choo, but that's a train.
And the wheels on the bus song, like
they go round and round.
I know the wheels go round and round. Hopefully they go round and round.
Oh,
I don't know what the sound though. The people, they go up and down. I don't know. What's the sound? I want to talk about the horn, so I don't know. All right. Tenick in here with us this morning. Good morning, Tenick. Dalton Schultz or Evan Ingram? That's a little bit closer for us. Adam, where are you going there?
Oh boy, I'd probably go Ingram just because we've seen it a little bit more. I know Dalton Schultz had that big week last week, but Evan Ingram seems to be a little bit more reliable, so that's where I'd be leaning.
Michael's in here with us this morning. He loves the show, Jagger. Half PPR, Sam Laporta or Taysom Hill? Taysom Hill was Jeff Bell's number 1 tight end. Are you starting Sam Laporta over him, Jagger?
Man, this is breaking my brain. It's got to be Taysom Hill. I think, one, it's the matchup, and they are trying to get him the ball in any way possible. As good as Sam Laporta is, it just Taysom Hill's ways to get production are, he'll run the ball, he'll catch it, he'll throw it. It's annoying, and I'm tired of thinking about him every year.
Josh Hamilton here with us today. Deontay Johnson, Tyler Boyd, or Jerry Jeudy in half PPR. So we need to sit one of those guys.
Boyd.
It'd probably be Jerry Jeudy. Oh, okay.
Oh, excuse me, Jeudy. Sorry.
Yeah, that's who I'd be sitting too.
Yeah.
And Will's thanking us for a great show. And Alfred, okay, now we've reached the point where I started talking about my jersey. So, and then Tenick saying it's always the top. Sorry, Joe. Always be it. Oh, sorry. Should not have got that up there. I said sorry, Joe, in advance of not knowing what I actually put up there. Sorry about that. Oh God.
Oh man.
Oh boy, that was bad. I thought he was saying the top. Oh gosh. Let's move on. Let's get past this. We can do it, guys. Half PPR looking to start 2 running backs, wide receiver, and a flex. So 2 running backs between Madison, Brian Robinson, and Bijan. So which one of those running backs are we going to sit?
Madison.
Madison's got a really tough matchup. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
And then 1 wide receiver between Tank Dell, Chris Godwin, and Tyler Lockett.
Dell.
And then between Godwin and Lockett for the flex, most likely.
Godwin.
Okay.
I agree with all that.
I do too. I know earlier there was a little bit of love thrown to Lockett's way. I don't dislike him, but I do like Chris Godwin quite a bit this week. Dave in here. Good morning. Great show, guys. Thank you. Kincaid or Laporta at full PPR. Oof. That's for me, it's going to be Laporta. And I do love Kincaid. I would honestly find a way to get both these guys in your lineup if possible.
Yeah. This is a case where, again, I feel comfortable putting Kincaid in my flex and spots like Scott Fishbowl. Kincaid is plug and play. That's a whole different thing, but he's plug and play in my flex and leave it. I think Joey's right, man. And it's a little bit about longevity, and we have a bigger sample size of Laporta, even though I may eat it today, but I think I'm going to roll with Laporta.
All right, Adam. Need to sit one, Adam. Ridley, Lockett, or Addison. Sit one of those guys. You're the decision here. Who you sit?
Probably Ridley, but I don't know. I know he just hasn't really done a whole lot lately that gives me a lot of confidence in starting him. I feel like he's got the lowest floor where he could bottom out and really stink it up for you, so I'd probably be leaving Ridley out.
Gotcha. And that looks like the Colts took the league 10-6. Just a little update on the score there. So, yeah, and that just stunning shootout there.
I was gonna say barn booner.
Eric's in here. Good morning, Eric. Gino or Sam? Howell, Jagger? I think we were on Gino earlier. Are we still there?
Howell still.
Oh, we're still with Howell. All right. And we went over that one. Mikey in here. Full PPR. Pick 2. Deontay Johnson, Tyler Lockett, or Bijan Robinson. That's interesting. That might be my favorite question of the day.
I think I'm benching Lockett.
Adam, are you going to bench Lockett? Or are you going to bench?
I think I am too. I mean, I'm playing Deontay Johnson, and as frustrating as the Arthur Smith, Bijan Robinson circus is, like, you cannot take Bijan Robinson out of your lineups right now.
France in here. Tank Dell or Chase or Kirk. So he needs to start 2.
It's Chase. It's not even
He can start one more. So
Kirk.
Kirk. Okay. And okay. And Boar, sit to Ayuk, Ridley, McLaurin, or Dell.
I think I'm sitting Ridley and McLaurin.
Yeah, I agree. I agree again.
All right, we've been here about an hour now. So, guys, right after this, in about, let's say, 10 minutes, Corey Spall is going to be in our Discord. This will be our last question today. It's going to be in the Discord answering all of your fantasy questions. So make sure to head over there. I will throw the link in the chat before we get out of here today. This will be the last question. Latrell with us, full PPR. Who do we got? Taysom Hill or Hollywood Brown? He's already got Kincaid as tight end 1. So what do we Hill?
That's an amazing name.
Latrell Lamarca.
That's amazing.
Like it.
Yeah. Sounds like a cologne. Back to the question. I think I'm gonna try to get Taysom Hill in my lineup, even in that point. I know Jeff says don't put tight ends in your flex, but Jeff's not here now. So I think I'm gonna try to roll Taysom Hill out because again, I don't know what Kyler Murray has. And then of course you're gonna put Diggs in your lineup. So maybe Adam disagrees.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm playing Hollywood Brown with Kyler back. And the Taysom thing is wild, but I've also been burned a couple times playing Taysom Hill in a tight end or flex spot just because he's not involved. So I'm gonna go with Marquise Brown.
All right, guys. Just a reminder, you can head over to footballguys. Oh, go ahead, Jagger.
We got one more. They begged us for it.
Okay.
They only because they begged, and I think I'm going to roll with James Cook to be safe. I don't know about Adam.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, cool. That sounds good. All right, guys. Just a reminder, our weekly rankings are available for free over footballguys.com. You can find Jeff's rankings, my rankings, Dave Kluge, Alfredo Brown, all the great football guys out there. The rankings are all up there for free. And remember, Discord right after the show in about 5 minutes. Corey Spall will be over there answering all of your fantasy questions. Guys, any parting messages for our viewers today?
If we didn't get your questions, again, go over to the Discord. Hit us up on Twitter. I know a lot of you guys, we missed you, but I'm on the internet. Also, I love you guys, and please pray for me as a Patriots fan. So.
All right. Everybody, have a good day. Enjoy your Sunday.
Peace out.